We got Jamie McFarlane in the house here right now. This is Will's son, and I found out that he's an amazing bass player. And I wanted to thank you for coming and playing on this song today. It's exciting for me to be playing in this room, like we just spoke with your dad about all of the history in this room. It still really is like hard for me to wrap my head around. And I wanted to ask you, what do you think? Because you know you're probably a few years younger than me, but it's like, what has this town and music meant to you?
Well, growing up here, the standard was set a long time ago.
The bar, yeah.
Yeah, the bar was high. None of the guys and gals messed around. And, you know, my first gigs were brutal, total gauntlets.
Did you understand or fathom the impact of music came out of this, you know, this studio in particular, too? Like,
I did, because I heard the stories. And, you know, I was totally part of it. My dad was in music, so I was around. I was the roadie, like I said, you know.
Yeah,
I think I was 10 years old starting to cart
your dad
equipment, you know.
Telling you to carry guitars.
Absolutely, amps, speakers,
the heaviest
whole
stuff.
deal. Absolutely. As soon as I was a teen, I was like, I got the big stuff.
Yeah, you get the heaviest stuff.
Yeah. But, so I was, I mean, it was just my life without even knowing it before I even was a bass player. I was just in it. And so when I came here, I knew my role was to sit down and shut up. And I just sat on the couch and was as quiet as I could be. And if they needed barbecue or coffee, I'd get it, you know. But as far as what was going on, even though back in that day, it was before the documentary, it was almost when only Europe really cared. Even our area here took them for granted.
Yeah, for years.
But we didn't, because we were watching people flying from all over the world. Tourists would pop by the studios from 3-4 continents. And we knew how serious they were during the session. You know, I mean,
it is pretty amazing that it was abandoned for so long. And then I guess that's probably what re-sparked my interest in the music came from here, was that Muscle Shoals documentary, the Rick Hall thing. It was like, incredible. I really didn't know, and now it's revitalized everything.
100%.
And you're part of the new generation of players making music here.
Yeah, it's funny. The
Singing River.
It's funny. I mean, I'll be 50 in 3 years, so I don't feel new at the moment. I feel a bit used.
Well, then we're close to the same age. So,
but no, you know, yeah, I couldn't help but be. I'm second generation. I grew up in it. There are a lot of us in this area.
That's pretty cool.
It's incredible how many wonderful second generation folks are representing in their own way. It's all unique. Doing our best.
Yeah. So now that you've divulged your age, so you had to been like me, like you were. I was into Kiss in the young days, Led Zeppelin, hair rock. I actually got to play on a Tommy Lee record a couple of years ago. I'm like, that I guess I'm talking about myself now, but a mixture of all of that's got to be the same for you, where it was rock and even 70s soft rock and you know, stuff like that seeps into what
actually
we do. No?
Believe it or not at all. I knew what was going on, but I was so into sports. I mean, that was my thing.
Oh, you
sports
were a jock?
nature 100%. And
I was a burnout.
but I was in it, and as it started just getting into me, and as I started taking car rides with my dad and listening to songs and him telling me what the changes were and learning numbers and progressions and how that worked, as I kept coming into the studio, you know, if Jerry Wexler's in the studio, Etta James, Steve Winwood, Leonard Skinner, Bobby Blue Bland, all these incredible people, if they're in the studio, I'm just trying to soak it up. And I started getting a bit burnt by athletics, and I started just picking up the bass, and I was like, oh, these are just the roots I've been listening to and being taught and thinking about. And when I was in the studio, I started picking up the charts and going, what is this? Started putting together the number thing. Picked up the bass when I was 16 years old. Barely played it till I was 18. But within 6 months of being able to just put a note to the kick drum, make the changes and be simple and this and that, because that was kind of some of the blueprint. Even though there are incredible parts, incredible lines, and some incredible stuff, the whole point was to groove, to find a pocket, to make the changes. And so it wasn't really until I started playing bass that I was given like a 4 CD set of Motown.
Oh yeah, and then to play along.
I just kind of dove into Motown and soul music and the music that was from here, the music I was hearing in the studio.
Yeah,
just roots stuff, and I just kind of dove into the bass and just went, "This is mine. I'm not going to try any other instrument. This is it."
And it's an important one, man. Guitar players will belittle it left and right, but man, you got nothing without bass and drums and that foundation.
I love the instrument, It was never my intention to be a bass god or anything. It was, let's understand the song and the arrangement and what's going on and the dynamics. I love the journey.
Where to fill it and where to leave it
I love the journey.
One last question. What does this studio, Muscle Shoals Sound, what does it mean to you when you think about it?
There are a bunch of incredible studios in this area by, many incredible music engineers, owners, and producers, but this is one of the ones that started it all. There was some amazing stuff that happened here. I had the good pleasure of driving Jimmy Johnson home from Santa Rosa Beach one time because we did a gig, and he told me the whole story of When a Man Loves a Woman and Wild Horses here. And he told me the story about the board and all this stuff, and so I just, I couldn't help but be aware. This was a place that was so special. I mean,
indelible
they cut two of the most amazing songs on the planet in one day here, I mean... So
if you listen closely, you can still hear them sound waves echoing.
We've told everyone who comes through, they stand out front, get a picture depending on the clouds. You get some epic pictures out front.
I just diluted it with a little bit of my own audio, like it's in here.
Yeah, it's an awesome place. Around. It's been awesome forever. I'm glad people are.
All right, thanks for really playing on this for me.
Thanks
today.
for having me.
And I'll be
I look
sending
forward
you a
to hearing
copy when we get it.
The end product.
All right, thank you.
Take care.